Hi, I'm Rick. And Alana, Jaylo, would you like to introduce yourself and say your preferred pronoun?
Wait, I think you should do it first.
My preferred pronoun, I believe, is he, him.
Yeah.
I'm a guy.
Yes. And I am obviously a girl, but my preferred pronouns are she, her, hers.
Just call me a guy.
She, her. But I'm pretty much a woman here.
So the reason we're doing that is we just got out of a meeting for an organization. We're not going to say what type.
Yeah.
Because they are good organizations.
They're wonderful.
Yes. And we were asked to introduce ourselves with our preferred pronoun.
This is the first time we ever had to be asked that, and we never received like any kind of warning that this was going to happen.
I don't think it's the end of the world, but it does feel way too PC for my taste.
Well, I personally, and you already know this, but I absolutely cannot stand PC culture. I think it's way too overused, and nobody wants to say, tell anyone the truth because they're so afraid that they're going to offend somebody. But I personally think that people are going to be offended no matter what you say. So you might as well just, say what's on your mind.
I don't get the need to have a meeting and to go around saying your preferred pronoun. That seems a little bit too like, oh, I'm showing off that I'm this, or I'm showing off that I'm that. And not necessarily even transgender or gay.
No, not at all.
But why do I have to point out the fact that I'm a guy?
Right, exactly. I mean, if they're able to see our faces or hear our voices, obviously there is, unless you're like a part of the LGBTQ community, in which case sometimes, people have, different preferable things they want to be called or whatever. But separate from all that, what really was kind of made me feel a little uncomfortable is that there were a couple of younger kids there. There's like at least 3 younger kids, and they had to do the same thing. And I'm just like, don't get them involved. It's not, they shouldn't have to worry about that.
Well, I think a lot of places are doing it. Not just this organization, which does great work.
But I'm talking about kids, though.
Okay, but you just mentioned 3 kids who were in this meeting we attended virtually.
That's what I mean.
Right. So you brought it back to this. And I'm saying, in general, it just seems a little bit weird to me.
It's very weird. Why does it have to happen? I hope it's just like a fad and it eventually stops, because this is just ridiculous.
My sister, when she lived here, she had a job. I'm not going to say where.
Yes.
It's working with Alana.
No, she wasn't.
But she told me that at every single staff meeting, you had to state your preferred pronoun.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit? Just be you. And I see maybe like privately you might want to tell people, like pull somebody inside and say, hey, you referred to me as a man. You may not know that I actually identify as this. But I don't see the need to say it in front of a group of people.
Exactly. I mean, like, who cares about, that's the point that I've made before, where if somebody wants to come out as whatever it is, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about anybody's personal life. Whatever they do at home is fine. But this is an example of how everybody is now subjected to where they have to abide by these rules. And because they have to abide by these rules, now everybody's affected.
Having said that, I might be a little bit out of touch. I still listen to Rakim and KRS-One and Gang Starr, so maybe I'm slightly behind the times.
That doesn't really count.
You know what I'm going to do, babes? I'm going to spend some real time pondering this and doing some research online to see if my opinion changes once I read opposing views. Because there might be a good argument for why to do this.
I just don't see it.
Right, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of things that older people start to do is they just don't see the alternative argument. And I don't want to become one of those people who becomes closed off. So right now it strikes me as a little bit too abrasive and in your face. Mm-hmm. But that's why I'm going to read up about it. And I'm going to try to develop an informed opinion based on what I read. And maybe there is a good reason for it that I'm just not seeing.
And I just want to say that it's not just a young people's thing. A lot of older people are following suit and are the ones that are taking what some of the young people are doing, and they're implementing it in their in their workplaces or whatever they do, outside of that has to do with, diversity training or what have you.
So I'm going to do some research, babes, and maybe my opinion will change. And every time I come over here, I'll say, hi, my name is Rick. Alana, my preferred pronoun is. Every time I enter your door, I'll say that.
My rule is no mentioning of gender pronouns in my own house. I'm not going to allow that. I just think it's just too much.
Okay.
I wonder though, because I had a teacher in college who had to go through diversity training, and I wonder how much it's changed, because this was back in like early 2000s, so probably like 2003. And she was mentioning something about diversity training. I didn't understand what that was, and I'm like, well, what is that supposed to mean? Is it diversity of ideas, diversity of cultures? Is it like a whole mixture of all that? Diversity of lifestyle? Because it can be lumped into one huge category, and I don't know if it should be. It seems to be lumped into one big category, and I don't know that should happen.
On the surface, it seems like something rich white people do to feel better about themselves by having some temporary guilt.
I would imagine rich black people do the same thing.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it isn't just the rich white people; it's rich anyone.
Okay.
That can do that. Rich Latinos,
well,
rich black people. I mean, they're all following suit.
I identify as a rich white person, even though I'm poor.
As am I.
Right.
And I'm just, but, and I'm not even white either.
I've heard that diversity training they're now saying doesn't work and actually makes people more apprehensive, which I could totally see, because to me, real diversity training is working alongside people who are different from you and having an open discussion instead of listening to somebody lecture to you
about how you should run things, how you should handle things. And I can go on and on and on about rich elitists, no matter what they are, that are trying to lecture us peasants to follow what they're doing. And it's like, why? And a lot of people are saying, well, why should I listen to you? You're not doing the same thing. So
I know we've discussed this here many times, but to me, a show that is a great example of diversity is Deep Space Nine.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And so
absolutely.
It's
a great show.
Because I grew up on TV.
Great show.
I think
as I did too.
Yes, I think a great lesson from that show is work with people who are different than you. Talk with them. Don't just talk with somebody who has a degree in diversity or has written a book.
Yeah, and they really pull it off really well. It's not obvious that the cast is diverse.
Yeah, it just is.
It just is.
And that's the way,
let it be.
That's the way I think our society should be. I don't think it should be like, I advertise that I have black friends. I advertise that I'm dating a Filipino person. Well, what if you just learn that about me by spending time with me and you meet my friends?
I mean, that's the beauty of discovering people for who they are, whether or not you agree with their views or their lifestyle, or, they may be from a different class as you. You're learning how to adapt to differences of opinion and all kinds of differences without making it so obvious.
Yeah.
Or like some people are like, well, I have black friends or I have white friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you have to announce it?
Just let me meet your friends.
Right, exactly.
And
like,
let me learn that way. I don't care.
I don't care if you are a certain color with a certain disability and you're however age you are. It doesn't bother me.
Just be cool. That's the main rule in life. Just be you. Try to be cool.
Do you remember?
Don't be an asshole. Keep going.
Okay, let me clean that up. Don't be a jerk.
Okay, whatever. Go ahead. Do I remember what?
Are you dismissing what I just said?
No, but you knocked over the recorder again, but that's your stick. Stick.
Yeah.
Keep going, Maves.
Anyway.
You were saying, do I remember?
Okay, so I talked to you about, it's kind of like the Dr. Seuss story of the Sneetches. And I never read the book, but I saw the cartoon. All the Sneetches were singled out because, or not all of them, some of them had stars on their bellies and some of them did not. And I think they were singled out because of the stars on their bellies.
Nice.
The Sneetches. You can learn some things from Dr. Seuss.
You can.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to go on just forever about, I don't understand what people today are doing.
But I think it's good to talk about because both of us are on the same page with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I'm a lefty, but I'm the type of lefty who is very much for free speech, right?
I think that's good because it shows that you are willing to understand somebody else's point of view without having, you don't have to agree with it, but I think it's good though. I think it's really good.
Yes, peeps.
But
anyways.
Otherwise, the meeting went pretty well.
Very nice people. And
very nice people.
We had fun before that. We were listening to the Craig Charles Funk and Soul Hour.
That was great.
On BBC Six, which is like one of my favorite radio stations.
And I love that they mix it. It's not just soul and funk only, but there was also a little bit of black gospel, which is up my alley. And it was really good stuff. Really good stuff. Stuff that you probably won't hear it unless you were on that channel.
Do you ever listen to BBC Six when I'm not around?
I haven't, but I think I might start doing that more because they have some like a real, now that's real like diversity of music.
Yes.
And I love diversity of music. It's great.
What I like is sometimes you'll tune in and somebody will play like an obscure 1960s rock song and segue it into like a modern day techno song.
Do they have like a person that does like classical stuff?
I don't think on 6, but I think on BBC 3 or 4, they do a daily concert of classical music.
Because I love listening to classical as well. It's just beautiful stuff.
Yeah, you should check out the BBC Sounds app on your computer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they have it for Miss A yet, but one of the cool things is you can favorite programs, and then you can kind of go back and listen to the last 4 or 5 episodes, and you can go through and find out, you can type in genres of music too. So you could type in classical and find out what shows focus on that. I really love the app.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, maybe I could check on, BBC 3 now that I can ask the Dot to play any music I want.
That's so cool, babes.
It's very cool. I could probably find some really, really good flute stuff. I have my favorite flutists like Ian Clark, and I haven't heard much of his stuff, but I performed a lot of it, some of his works. And I love, there's one flutist, I think her name is like Alexa Stills.
Sorry, you just said Miss A's name. I get uptight about that now. It's weird that that's the one word that I get uptight about.
Okay, anyway, she's an Australian flutist.
Yeah.
I should correct that. She's an Australian flutist, and she's very good. I've heard a little bit of her stuff.
Nice.
And there's, James Galway. I think he's still alive. He's from England. He's very good.
That's really cool.
Yes, it is.
Yes. I woke up early this morning, listened to a bit of Giles Peterson, which comes on right before Craig Charles.
Not Craig Giles.
As you can tell, I'm horrible with names.
That's why I'm around, bub.
Yes. And then at around 7:14, I woke up my Jaylo.
Yes. Well, I was waking up like during the night too because I kind of felt some movement here.
I didn't. What happened?
That's because you're the one that was moving.
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness.
I was completely out though. After the laugh fest died down, I fell asleep fairly quickly.
Oh yeah, the laugh fest.
Yes. We watched movies last night, then get ready to bed. I throw on my earphones, and I hear my girlfriend, who is listening to Dateline NBC, keeps saying, Miss A, previous episode, Miss A, previous episode. At one part, I start laughing. You turn around and like, don't laugh, okay?
I was like, why are you laughing at me? And you just, every time I said it, you were just like laughing so hard. I was like, what?
Then after I was scalded, I hear somebody whisper, Miss A, next episode. Or Miss A, previous episode.
I was like, I didn't even think you would find that funny.
I thought it was great because it wasn't just like once or twice. This was like 15 times you kept saying it.
Well, because
like one time right after another.
Well, because there were some episodes that I already watched, and Dateline NBC comes on at least twice a week, I think. I know it comes on Fridays, but I can't remember the other day. At least twice a week, so 48 Hours is on only once a week.
Oh.
Anyway, but I love a good mystery.
Apparently, yeah.
I do.
I hope you found an unheard episode. It sounded like you did. Or you just got tired of hearing me laughing.
I did, and then I eventually fell asleep and woke up, and I'm like, whoa, what episode is this? Oh, it's a different story. Okay. Okay. Different story.
Different story.
Mm-hmm.
Jaylo.
Yes.
After we got done doing this yesterday.
Well, wait, are we going to talk about the movies?
We're going to get there.
Okay.
We're going to get there. But let's backtrack for a little while.
Yes.
We decided to go and order some more things off of Instacart.
Yes, and it turned out really well.
We got a French baguette.
Got some snacks.
Yes.
Got something to drink for our after we had our sandwiches.
Some Pepsi, which was nice. We split.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, it was a 20-ounce bottle, which I could only get 2 servings out of it, and this is exactly why I do not buy sodas very often, because it was good. It was really good.
It was really good. The last time I had any soda was with you.
Yes.
And then we were out and about before COVID, like the week before.
I think the last time I had a soda with you, if I remember correctly, is when we went to those little concerts.
Bloodworks, yeah.
Yes, and they had like a fridge with like 7-Up in there.
Yep.
And we shared some 7-Up together.
Exactly what I was thinking about.
Yes.
Yes. And at one point we make the order and we couldn't do it because apparently you have to order $10 worth of stuff on Instacart.
$10 minimum, yes.
Yes.
And I forgot about that, but
we made it work though.
We did, and the guy got me pretty much everything that I wanted, and I was very happy.
The only substitute was the bread.
Yeah.
It wasn't as wide as I would have liked.
Right.
But we were able to make it work.
We were able to make it work. I really wish that it was a little bit softer, because it was kind of tough to bite in, but it was still really good.
It was.
The pickles and the cucumber and the mustard.
We made subs.
We certainly did.
They tasted really good, I thought.
They were amazing. Yes.
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 And Miss Jaylo gave me some Cheetos.
I did. I got these little, it was like a pack with these little bags of Cheetos. And I also bought some chocolate, because we both love chocolate.
Oh my God. So the sandwich had provolone cheese.
And cheddar cheese.
Cheddar. Little bit of mustard that was on the bread.
Yep.
Because it wasn't wide enough, so that's why I put it on the bread.
Yeah.
We chopped up some cucumbers.
Pickles.
Pickles were the sandwich size.
Yeah, we didn't have to chop them up. They were sandwich size.
Yeah. We skipped on the kale and the avocado just because of the bread, but it was really good.
Let me ask you this. Do you want to take some kale with you or avocado?
I might eat the avocado.
Okay.
Before then, I might just have it as a snack. I love avocado.
It is good.
But it feels a little bit too firm, so we'll see. But I would be willing to take some stuff with me, babes.
I will give you some kale then. Yes. I will give you the kale, because I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for.
Oh, good. We could potentially make a salad out of it at some point. But that doesn't sound too appealing to my
not right now anyway, because we do have to think about the stuff we have to make for next week.
Yes, for the holiday.
And I'm kind of...
I'm going to be birthday boy.
Yes, you're going to be birthday boy. And I have to be careful because... right now my money is starting to deplete a little bit, so I have to be really careful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody went on some spend and squeeze.
No, I was buying a lot of groceries.
Oh, okay.
Most of the stuff I was buying were groceries.
Yes,
really.
yes. They're very good, Jill. Whoa.
Yes.
I know I'm skipping around a little bit, but
that's fine.
This morning after we got out of bed, you gave me some cocoa.
I did.
And we talked about the possibility of making some cinnamon rolls.
Oh, I would be so open to that, yes.
We might have to do that this week, babes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes, we
That's
do.
going to be fun, if we decide to go that route.
Okay.
Yes.
We could also save that for New Year's, too.
We could.
Yeah, we don't have to do that next week.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
We can have cinnamon rolls anytime, but we don't have to do that next week.
Very true.
If we wanted to, I could buy like some kind of a cake to commemorate this special occasion.
Ooh, we might want to do that. I was thinking about maybe coming over here early on Wednesday and putting in a Walmart order. But we never fully talked about that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to get into that now or
we can talk about that later.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have to be discussed right here. I mean,
yeah, we could.
It's like
we discuss every single thing.
No, we don't discuss everything about our lives here. You see, that's why.
Even the super boring stuff.
See, I understand that you are an open book, but there are times where I'm like, we don't have to tell everything to everybody.
Well, we could be.
Just like we don't need to be everything to everybody.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Always try to be everything to everyone. Such a good band. Everclear.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I remember that one.
So glad I've seen them live twice. But
pretty cool.
In any event, Jaylo, the driver is a little bit late.
Mm-hmm.
You go down and I get a call from you. But then you run into the guy.
Yeah, it was really funny because I thought he called you. And what happened is I got the call. I got a beep on my phone, and I'm like, hold on. I think someone's calling me. I said, I'll talk to you later. And so I click over, and there he is. He's just standing right there in front of me, and he's like, oh, okay. I didn't know who it was, so I just took out my phone. and he put the bag in the cart that I had with me, and I'm like, I thought that was really cool. He was able to find me. So I was like, and I explained to him that you were using the app
on my phone,
on your phone, not my. Yes. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he was real cool.
Very good.
He was cool about that.
Yes.
Yes.
It was fun.
Yes, it was.
We eat, and then we watched 2 Alfred Hitchcock films.
Oh, they were great.
They were. We started off with Notorious and then Rope. Do you want to talk about Notorious, even though you fell asleep?
Well, so I fell asleep through part of it, not a lot of it. How does it start? Do
you want me to take the lead?
Why don't you take the lead and I can chime in?
Okay. The film stars Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman.
Yes.
Basically, it begins, there's this court case, and Bergman's father gets sent away for collaborating with what we assume are the Nazis.
Yes.
Okay. And feel free to jump in at any point if I get something wrong.
All right.
There's this party that night. She's hosting it, and Cary Grant comes in.
And she gets really, really wasted.
Yeah, and they're kind of talking, and then he's like, well, why don't we go back to my place?
Uh-huh.
They hop in this car, and she's like speeding down this highway somewhere in Florida.
She's driving very erratically.
Mm-hmm. A cop pulls them over. He says to them, you just can't get away with this.
Yeah.
But he changes his tune when Mr. Grant shows him his ID. He just goes away, and she knows something's up, but she can't quite put her finger on it.
She's like, you just showed this guy your ID. What's up with that? Pretty much.
Then he kind of forces her into the back seat, drives home, and we fast forward to the next day. Mm-hmm. She has this hangover, and he explains, listen, we need to leave Florida and go to Rio de Janeiro. I've been recruited to help get you into this special mission. Mm-hmm. He plays a recording of her where she talks about how she loves America.
And she's talking about, like, didn't she say something about, like, having, holding the flag in one hand and picking pockets in the other?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I remember that part, yes.
Yeah, some things I'm just not observant about that you pick up on.
Yes.
And I don't, which is why we're a good team.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go down to Rio, and she doesn't get the assignment at first.
Yeah.
So Bergman and Grant are hanging out, and they start falling in love.
Yes.
Right?
She's not exactly sure if he's into her, but she's definitely into him.
Oh, yeah, and she can't cook a chicken, but she can get it.
Yes, it's so hard.
But finally, she gets called down to the office where they're doing this business and told that, listen, we need you to get into the circle of, what's the homeboy's name? Sebastian.
Alex Sebastian.
Sebastian.
And she finds out that not only is Alex... So Alex Sebastian was one of her father's friends, because now her father's in prison. But she also finds out that Alex Sebastian has had this huge crush on her.
Yes.
I thought it was kind of weird, but okay.
And we know that it has something to do with Nazis, but we're not exactly sure what he has to do with it.
Right.
Near the beginning of our time with Alex Sebastian, we become aware that he helps get somebody killed within his inner circle.
Right.
I forgot the dude's name.
I don't remember either.
Anyways, she reintroduces herself to him. Go ahead.
She convinces him that she is in love with him, and she's falling in love with him.
Yeah, and Alex lives with his mom, which is a little bit weird for an old dude. But
yeah, it is.
Roll with us. This was the 40s.
Yes.
Within like a week or two of meeting, he proposes to Bergman.
I think this is a part that I missed.
Yes, you were asleep. You were just like snoring off.
I was not.
Dreaming about Dateline all over again.
I was not.
And that classic episode where Stone Phillips proposed to Jane Pauley. Yeah.
Oh, okay, come on, go on.
Okay, anyways, I'm joking. I don't believe that actually happened, but in your dreams it did.
It didn't.
So, in any event, Cary Grant is a little bit thrown back by this, obviously, but she marries the guy, and, you know, they need to sneak into the wine cellar.
Yes.
But the thing with Grant provides an excuse to invite him over because she's told to tell the husband, hey, if we invite him over, I know he's an ex, but he'll see me being so happy with you that he'll get out of our hair for good.
Yeah, he'll leave us alone. Yep.
Okay. So Grant comes over. Before this happens, she steals the key to the wine cellar. And I love the party scene where they're like talking and eventually she tells him, hey, leave now. Here's the key.
Yep.
She didn't say it like that, but
she gives him the key.
Yeah, she gives him the key when they shake hands.
She shakes hands because, you know, she's making it seem like they're just acquaintances.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? She gives him the key. It was very clever.
But she's like, okay, go around and back and I'll let you in through the back door.
Right.
Okay, they go to the wine cellar. Grant drops a bottle of this, what is supposed to be 1934 wine.
Yeah, it's pretty much shatters, I think.
But sand comes out.
Yep.
He collects it. Sebastian eventually, later on, a few minutes later, comes and sees Grant making out with his girl. She pushes him away.
Yeah.
What's homegirl's name? Alicia in the movie?
Alicia.
Yeah.
Yes, Alicia. Yeah, her name was Alicia.
Yeah. I just don't want to refer to her as Bergman or she.
Alicia.
Yes, Alicia. Pushes Grant away. And he basically leaves. Later on, Sebastian goes down to the wine cellar and sees some clues that a bottle has been broken.
Yep.
And some sand has been taken. Now, meanwhile, Grant has the sand analyzed, and there's like uranium in it.
Yeah, it's uranium ore or something.
Yeah, uranium.
That's what it is.
That sounds right. So Sebastian is starting to catch on that good old Alicia may not be exactly what she seems.
Yeah, he figures out that she's been spying on him, so he consults his mama.
His mama.
And she's like, you know, I didn't get to do this because I guess he was married before. And apparently it was implied that he was married before and that she didn't like his first wife. And she's like, let me handle this one.
And they start poisoning Alicia.
Yep. She starts to feel really sick. She thinks she's having a hangover because she drinks a lot. Well, in fact, a lot of them drink a lot in that movie.
It's very common back in the 40s.
Apparently. So she drank a lot, and she thought she's having a hangover. This is a part where she goes to see Mr. Devlin there, who's Cary Grant, on the bench, right?
No. Thank you for reminding me of his character's name.
Yes.
What happens was she's supposed to check in with Devlin every so often.
Yeah.
But she misses a few check-ins.
Yes.
Which basically lets him know that something's wrong. Why would she just not come?
Yeah.
So Devlin comes over to their house, sneaks upstairs, sees that she's been poisoned, and tries to get her slowly out. Now, meanwhile, while he's trying to walk down the staircase, Sebastian comes.
Oh, and by the way, he does admit to her that he's in love with her.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. And we get the feeling that if the associates of Sebastian, who are also there, know that something's up with Bergman, that he's probably going to get killed.
Yes.
Okay. So he offers to walk Alicia and Devlin to his car.
Mm-hmm.
They throw her in back. He says, I want to come. Devlin says, there's not enough room for you. And he drives off.
Yep.
And then he's called to walk into his house. He's heading towards the front door and the movie ends.
We don't know what happens to her. We don't know what happens to Mr. Devlin. And we certainly don't know what happens to Alex and his mother.
No. The only thing we can assume is that Alex and his mother probably die that night. Yeah. But we can't say for sure.
Yeah, for sure Alex, probably Alex did.
Yeah, and I don't think his mom is going to stick around.
No.
You know, they're not going to want her around.
They're not getting any younger, those two.
I had not seen this movie before.
It's really good.
This was really good, and I thought it was a very ballsy ending, too.
Yes.
Because it doesn't really resolve itself in a way you want.
Well, and this leads us to the second movie, which was, I thought that was...
Well, but now, before we go there...
Yes.
So I want to analyze this movie, Notorious, just a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that Devlin is actually in love with Alicia, or is he just saying that? Because we know that he has experience with espionage. And sometimes you have to lie, cheat, and steal.
I really think he was. I really think he was genuinely worried about her. Because he finds out that she's sick. Okay, so before he gets over there, I think I should mention too, Joseph is the butler, correct?
Yes.
Joseph is like, what is going on? We have to take care of this girl. And I don't know how much Joseph knows about Alex and his mother poisoning her. But it seems like Joseph is genuinely concerned for her safety, because she can't make it to the stairs. She almost passed out. So, and remember that part when Alex says, take the phone off the hook. Madam needs peace and quiet.
I do remember that.
Because he doesn't want, it seemed to me like it was implied that he doesn't want anyone to find out what they're doing.
No, he's in this too. He's part of this whole...
Joseph is?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I don't know how deep he is, but he knows what's going on.
You think so?
Yes.
And how so?
Because he sees things. He knows the family really well. Mm. I just get the sense that he's trusted to go into the wine cellar.
Oh, that's true.
Remember.
He probably knows more than what he's putting on.
That's my assumption.
Okay, well, anyway... I really think he genuinely loved her as much as she did, and he was probably waiting for the right time to tell her and the right time to get her out of there.
In your minds, I know we don't know for sure, but if Alana Jaylo is hired to direct a Notorious 2, okay, with computer generated Ingrid Bergman and Cary Grant. What happens after they drive away? Does she die? Does he get caught and killed? What happens?
No, I think she survives it. I do think that Alex gets killed, and I do think his mother is probably killed also.
What about Devlin?
No. I don't think so. I think I think that once Alicia is better, she gets ready to live a different life now because her husband dies.
Do they live happily ever after, or is Devlin's connection with the spy community a bit too much for her to handle in the long term?
Maybe he leaves the spy community to start a new life with her. Or the connection to the spy world.
Does he end up having regrets over that?
I don't think so. He would probably risk anything to make sure that she was taken care of.
Even after So their relationship is exciting from the get-go.
It is.
Right. And so do you think once the reality of day-to-day life sets in back in Florida, where they're just coming home, going through the same plain old routine day after day, after things settle down, do you think that, let's say 10 years down the line, they're still a happily married couple?
I'd like to think so.
I guess they become married after that.
I'd like to think so, because she definitely wasn't happy with Alex.
No.
She was using him. You know, she was the one that was spying on him, so obviously she wasn't happy with Alex.
Yes, babe, boys.
Yeah.
This was Hitchcock's first film after World War II.
Yes, it was very good.
What do you think this teaches us, if anything, about Nazi infiltration?
It's a risky business. It's risky. So they were infiltrating. I'm guessing they were infiltrating Alex's inner circle because he was a part of the Nazis.
Yes, but we don't exactly know how, or at least I was too out of it last night.
Yeah.
Listening to the snoring to really put it all together.
Oh, whatever.
But I kind of like that we have that mystery and we don't know all the details.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a risky business to be the one to spy on the Nazis. It's risky.
My assumption is, babe, is that they were trying to put people, like Alex's group was trying to get people into our country to like send weapons over here, like new types of weapons.
To hurt us.
Yes.
Okay.
Like maybe they were using the ore for building some really advanced guns or something.
Right.
I don't know that for sure. That's just a layman's opinion.
It could be.
Yes.
And maybe the only way that we would be able to find out is if we asked Alfred Hitchcock, but I think he's gone now.
Died in 1980, babes.
When I was born, yeah.
The day you were born, he decided to commit suicide.
Really?
No. But I do think he died in April that year.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Your birthday month.
That's right.
Okay, so a question that's kind of away from the film. You've now watched Cary Grant's In His Girl Friday.
Yes.
Philadelphia Story.
To Catch a Thief.
To Catch a Thief. North by Northwest.
Yes.
And now Notorious.
Notorious.
Out of all these films, my least favorite is Philadelphia Story, but I still think it's really good.
It's a great film, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's a good film, but I think every other film is like a great film.
I loved him in His Girl Friday, though.
Yes.
I thought it was amazing. It was really funny.
But the question I have for you, babe, is before COVID, you had heard of Cary Grant.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You had never really watched his movies, I don't think.
No, I just didn't know where to get them.
What do you think of him now as an actor?
He's amazing. He's an amazing actor. I mean, I knew about him. I heard little things about him. His daughter was interviewed. But what a great actor and you know, what a great talent that we have lost.
Well, he died a while ago.
I know he died a while ago, but he's no longer here. That's why I said that.
What do you think is his best film that you have seen?
That's hard. He was good in all of them, but I think I liked him best in His Girl Friday.
It's interesting. I think this is going to sound weird. I liked him best in North by Northwest, but either His Girl Friday or To Catch a Thief would be my favorite overall film with him.
Yeah. I thought he was great in His Girl Friday.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's great in serious roles too, but His Girl Friday was just a great movie, and the plot was really funny, and I just liked how they had a lot of chemistry and fast talking people, and I don't know, I just thought it was really funny.
Yes.
And how he was trying to get his wife back, you know. In a very, very, very sketchy way he did. Very devious. But it was great. That's why the movie was great.
Oh, it's an awesome movie. It really holds up well.
So funny. Yes. And what happened to her poor fiance.
He just got screwed over. And his mom.
Yes. Yeah, he's a great actor. And so is Jimmy Stewart. Oh, I loved a lot of the Jimmy Stewart movies we watched.
We are going to watch another one tonight. The Man Who Knew Too Much.
Yes. I wonder if what kind of character Jimmy Stewart is going to be in that one.
We're going to have to find out because I've not seen it and I've not read anything about the film except that Hitchcock directed it and Stewart starred in it.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Stewart is a really great actor, and I'm glad that we're watching a lot of his movies because the only one that I remember is It's a Wonderful Life, which is played every single Christmas, and great movie. But
yeah, I like it too.
I love him in other movies now. Good stuff. I have an appreciation for him.
I'm really thrilled that I get to turn you on to some of these movies and experience them myself.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite Jimmy Stewart film is Rear Window.
Oh, that's a great one.
I just think that he's phenomenal, but there's arguments to be made for all the films that we watch.
But he was good. I thought he was great in Vertigo.
Vertigo's excellent.
I know. Now that we know a little bit about another view about Vertigo, I appreciate it more.
Yeah, that would be a movie, even though I don't like rewatching movies with you, that would be one there might be an exception to just because there's so much to pick up on.
It is.
At some point, but...
It is, yeah.
Would you say Vertigo is your favorite film with him?
One of them.
Okay.
One of them.
If you had to rank them, and you don't have to, but as an exercise, how would you rank Jimmy Stewart films? The ones that you've seen.
Oh, it's up there. I don't know. I'm not sure which one is my favorite.
For me, I'd probably go...
Well, you know what? Because it's so hard because Harvey's really good.
Yeah.
Harvey was really entertaining and it was just a funny movie. And Rear Window is excellent. Then you got Vertigo, Philadelphia Story, and
Rope is in
Rope.
There. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll tell you my take on it. Rear Window is number 1. I'd probably go Vertigo number 2, Harvey 3, It's a Wonderful Life, Rope, and then Philadelphia Story.
All very good movies.
Yes.
By the way, should we segue into Rope?
Let's do it. Do you want to give an overview?
I can. So, in the beginning, you hear this guy screaming. And it is implied that he had a rope tied around him and he was hung. And there's these two men that are talking, Brandon and Philip. Brandon was a mastermind. It was implied that Brandon was a mastermind of this killing. We don't even know why he was killed. And he was, once he was dead, they stuffed him in the shelf and
chest.
I'm sorry. They stuffed him in this chest where a bunch of books were kept, and they moved the books out of the way and put them on top of the chest because the chest was being used as a casket. Am I right?
Yes.
So Mrs. Wilson is a maid. I'm not sure whose house it was. I think it might have been.
I think it's Brandon's
house?
but I could be wrong. It's like his apartment,
right? And it sounds like it's a big apartment, and Mrs. Wilson is trying to, fix things because Brandon has a party that's supposed to be for Mr. Kentley. I'm not sure who Mr. Kentley was.
I think he's the old dude who comes by and looks at the books.
That's right.
With that one lady.
Mrs. Atwater,
yes.
Yeah. Very interesting characters. And they're trying to figure, what are we supposed to do? Like, well, we'll just move the books and put them over here, and Mrs. Wilson, the maid, is not going to notice, and she's a little bit irritated because she's getting ready for the party, and she said, "I thought my table looked lovely." It's like, well, I think it would be better if you did that somewhere else. And oh, okay, whatever. She was a little bit irritated, but she kind of went along with it. Now, you go tell about the party. It's really funny too.
Okay, so Brandon invited this one lady over. The young lady's name?
Janet.
Yes. And she's kind of a tough talking broad.
Yeah.
She used to date Brandon, and I guess we can say...
She dated Philip.
No, she used to date Brandon, too.
Oh, really? No, it was Philip.
Okay, I could have sworn it was
Brandon. Was it Philip or Brandon?
It was Brandon, babes.
Brandon, okay.
Yes. She used to date Brandon, and I guess we can say she used to date David, the guy who was killed by Brandon at the beginning of the movie. And
but she used to date Kenneth.
No, Kenneth is the old guy, right?
No. Kenneth was the guy she was talking to.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And
that's her ex.
Yes. And Brandon invited Kenneth over. Kenneth is just kind of there.
Yeah.
I don't really think we need to go into him. Mm-hmm. But your old buddy Jimmy Stewart comes in playing, I can't remember characters' names, Jaylo?
His name was Rupert.
And we get the sense that Rupert is this really intelligent guy.
Yes.
Who sometimes says things to people just to get a reaction out of them.
Yeah, in fact,
which is kind of like me.
Yeah, but it was funny how he did it, because he was like, yeah, and they got into this conversation about morbidity, and he was like, yeah, can you imagine there's like, strangulation day and and meanwhile, Philip is playing the piano.
Yes.
And the weird song that he plays, I guess it's called Crime and Punishment. And Rupert's this really smart guy, and he realizes that something isn't right about this party. He can't figure out what it is yet, but something just isn't right about the party, because they're waiting for David. And they're talking about David. David's father, Mr. Kentley, is there. Don't know where David is. I think he talked to them the day before. Janet they find out that Janet is really in love with David, and she wants to see him. And they just don't know what's going on, because he would never be late to a party or anything like that. They don't know why.
Rupert starts asking questions. Somebody calls David's mom. She hasn't heard from them. So the party starts to break up as people go and look for him. Mm-hmm. Everybody leaves except for the maid, Brandon, and Philip. Yep. And we should also say that Philip and Brandon were planning to take a trip later that night out to the country.
Right.
So I'm presuming the plan is to take the chest or the body out of it and dump it in the woods somewhere. Uh-huh. But before that can happen, Brandon has to get the maid out. She leaves.
Yep.
He's hanging around with Philip, who is a little tense.
And he decides to drink.
Yes.
A lot.
And Brandon kind of encourages this.
And poor Philip, I don't think he's the one who killed this guy, but he's definitely...
he's part of it, though.
He's part of it, and he doesn't want to be a part of it.
Yes. They get a phone call that Rupert forgot something upstairs. Was it his...
A cigarette case.
A cigarette case.
Yeah.
Rupert comes up. What you couldn't see is... He's talking to them. He slides his cigarette case out of his pocket and puts it behind one of the books.
Yeah, and he pretends like, oh, I lost it and I found it now.
Yeah. And then he wants to stay and have a drink, and he's talking to them. Eventually, Rupert puts everything together. Well, he kind of already did, but he had to figure get them to confess.
Right.
Brandon is trying to justify the crime and say, hey, Rupert, you and me talked about doing this all the time. And
this is before he showed him the chest, correct?
I think so. We're going to go with yes. But
okay. Yeah. I was right. Yeah.
We justified this all the time. And then finally he sees the body.
Yeah.
And Rupert says, seeing what has gone on here tonight has made me realize how wrong my theories about killing the intellectually inferior are.
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys are going to pay for this. He had
a gun.
Yes, that Brandon had put out on the piano. Because when he started questioning them, mm-hmm. Rupert said, hey, I know you got a gun. Brandon took it out just to say, hey, we're all cool here.
Right.
Rupert takes the gun, puts it out the window, starts shooting. People start gathering below and talking. Rupert sits down, and the movie just ends.
Yep.
Which, again, is very ballsy.
I liked what he said when he said, I'm not going to kill you, but society will eventually kill you.
Yeah. But we don't know what happens. Like, for all we know, the people gather downstairs and they don't put it together which apartment that came from.
Yep.
Or they somehow sneak out. Mm-hmm. This is a very short film. I think it's an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah, it is. But it was very...
It was great, though.
It was a very... it was time well spent watching it.
I really enjoyed Notorious. I think this is slightly better, though.
I do, too.
Yeah.
Because this had a lot of comedy, but and a little bit of drama with it.
And they make a weird reference to Notorious.
Yes.
But you gotta have to be paying attention to get it.
Yeah, it's like, you know that movie with Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman? It was something, or maybe it was something.
Yes. That's the old lady who's talking to Jimmy Stewart.
Mrs. Atwater.
Yes.
something, or maybe it was something. But I love the speech that Jimmy Stewart made, and it really spoke to me because it was saying, you know, you think, and he's pointing to both Brandon and Philip and calling them out and saying, you think that just because they're intellectually inferior, they don't mean anything to anybody. They're not useful.
I want to explore this statement a little bit more.
I think I'm butchering it, but okay.
You get the gist of it.
Yes.
Okay. This film came out in 1948.
Uh-huh.
Couple years after the end of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that a lot of Jews were killed.
Yes.
During the war.
Yes.
But we also know that they killed people with intellectual disabilities.
Oh, yes. Very, very, very sad. Yes.
I know that this movie, I should say, I believe it's based on a play, which kind of makes sense when you look at how it's shot. But how do you think World War II affected this movie? Because they do talk about killing the intellectually superior.
I think it said a lot because of how what happened with Pearl Harbor and how the people of Hawaii were attacked.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. I think it must have affected them. I mean, I guess. I'm not sure how to answer that question, actually. What do you think?
Okay, so to me, the line about killing the intellectually inferior, thank you. Or just take the word intellectually out and just use the word inferior.
Inferior, yeah.
It's something that Hitchcock probably knew is going to get a huge reaction in the movie theater because of all the stories coming out about Nazi Germany.
Well, see, when I think about that, I don't think so much about World War II per se, because even though it was after World War II, I think about the Holocaust.
But the Holocaust was World War II, babes.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm not following you.
No, I was thinking I got mixed with the because when I think about World War II, I think about what happened with Pearl Harbor.
Okay,
but not but now that I think about it, it's more connected to what happened with the Holocaust.
So then this brings a question, then, because I never even considered it.
Yeah.
How does Pearl Harbor affect this movie?
So remember when Pearl Harbor was bombed by Japan?
Yes.
And I think there was a time where, I don't know if it happened before or after World War II, that the Japanese were taken to, people were taken to Japanese internment camps.
That happened during World War II.
Okay, so it kind of reminds me.
Yeah, keep going, babes.
Would you stop?
I'm listening, babes. Keep going.
Don't tickle me. Don't tickle me. I'm into it, sweet soup.
All right, babes, kiss me. I need a kiss.
No.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
No.
No, I said yeah. Come on, give me a kiss. Okay, so Japanese people were taken to internment camps. Keep going.
Yes, and that is definitely it connects to what happened with the Jewish people and how they were taken to internment camps and
concentration camps
or concentration camps. I'm still kind of tired.
Okay.
You know, they were in captivity.
Yeah.
And they were treated like they were inferior. And that's how I connect it to the speech that Jimmy Stewart gave in Rope.
Well, I don't know if Japanese people were treated like they were inferior. It was more like they were traitors to this country.
Right.
Which is different than being inferior.
Right. But I heard that the conditions were awful.
I've heard that too. I've talked to people, Japanese Americans, who were in those camps.
Yes, it was not a good situation from what I understand.
Yes. I talked to one person.
Okay.
I said people, so I said correct that. But, so how do you think a post-World War II audience would have responded to this movie?
That is a really good question. That definitely can be a poignant movie for today, because when you think about, like you've mentioned, people with intellectual disabilities, right? For example, and how there are some people that do not recognize that. Some. And they think that because they have that disability, they are superior to them. And how other people are superior to other people, how they're being treated. It doesn't have to do with race, but, you know, class or background, religion, maybe something like that. I don't know. It's a poignant movie today, I think.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, we could replace the term intellectually inferior with anything that applies the other. And use that as justification to kill.
Right. That somebody would think of killing.
So what do you think it would have been like to see this movie in the cinema in 1948?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't answer that. Because I don't know what it's like to live in the 40s. And how things were different back then.
Okay. Well, let me ask you another question. And I'm going to ask you to assume some stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Jimmy Stewart, by pretty much all accounts, was an actual war hero.
Yes, he was.
Who knows if they made that up, but that's at least what I've heard.
Yeah, he was in the military.
What do you think it was like for him to take on this role?
I would imagine that he's seen a lot of things in the military. I don't know if he's been through, if he had some PTSD. I know a lot of vets go through PTSD after the war.
He started talking to Rabbit after. No, sorry.
That's true.
Harvey.
No, that's okay. That is a fictional movie.
Okay, sorry.
It's not a true.
I thought that was about his real life. But anyways, keep going.
A 6-foot-tall rabbit, mind you.
Yes.
I would imagine that greatly affected him because of all the stuff that he probably have seen in the war and the sounds that he's heard and the people that have died and what he had to do on the front lines, if anything. I mean, I'm sure that affected him because of that.
Do you think that Jimmy Stewart watches this film when it comes out, or do you think that it's too hard?
It could be either or. Maybe it's too hard, because I heard that some actors and actresses don't watch their own movies because they would criticize themselves, right?
Yes,
They'd be too critical of themselves. And we are our own worst critics, as you know.
I do.
We certainly are.
Yes, boys. But overall, it sounds like you enjoyed this film a lot.
Oh, certainly. Yes. And especially that speech at the end he could have gotten an Oscar for that one.
Yeah, he should have gotten an Oscar.
He should have gotten an Oscar for that one.
I don't think for this.
The speech, for the speech itself.
I think he won an Oscar for Philadelphia Story. But I mean, I think he should have been nominated for this, but I think he should have gotten an Oscar for Rear Window. But we know how much I love that movie.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Okay, so this is the first collaboration that Jimmy Stewart and Alfred Hitchcock had. Tonight we're going to...
The first collaboration?
Between the two of them, yes.
Oh, before Vertigo and the other ones?
Those came out in the 50s, babes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Tonight, we are going to watch their last collaboration on screen. I think that Alfred Hitchcock is the director whose work would... How do I want to phrase this? I think Alfred Hitchcock has been the best director for Jimmy Stewart. He's gotten the best moments out of him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some people would say it's Frank Capra, but I disagree. What do you think of them as a team?
Very good, and I like that Alfred Hitchcock has taken certain subjects to a whole nother level that nobody would even think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like mental illness or things that scare us, killing people because they are quote unquote intellectually inferior. Why somebody would kill somebody. I'm glad that he's not a safe director. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do. He does films on controversial topics.
He doesn't always give you the ending that you want.
Yeah, you have to kind of. It's a cliffhanger, but you kind of have to think. Well, there's probably a reason why we don't know about this.
Yes.
We could only guess about how it could have ended up.
I am excited to watch more Hitchcock tonight with you.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I wonder what film of Hitchcock that you've seen so far would you most recommend to other people?
Oh, I have no idea. I think one of them would definitely be Rope.
I can see that.
I can't say which one I would most like to recommend because they're all really good. I don't have any complaints about them.
Nice, Babos.
Yes.
Yes. Jaylo.
Yes.
Moving off of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any dreams last night?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Nobody was wearing a mask. So I'm assuming this is post-COVID.
Yes.
I'm on the light rail going downtown to Pioneer Square. And I see this girl who had a thing for me years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we just start talking on the light rail. And I realize why I never went after her. More people get on the train. She gets distracted. And eventually I jump off and go about my way.
So let me ask you a quick question.
Yes.
When you were talking to said girl, did you realize why you never went after her because of how she was in real life?
Yes.
Okay.
It was, or I was reminded of it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
Even more so.
Even more so.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, babe was.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is not good.
No, Jaylo.
And she was sighted in the dream.
She was sighted in real life, too.
In real life, too. Wow. Okay.
I can get some sighted women, babes.
Oh, I can get some sighted guys, too. But
Well, nobody's here to listen to you brag, babes.
that's okay.
Okay.
I'm sure that there's some sighted people listening.
Okay, good.
Not that it matters.
Not that it matters, babes.
They won't be able to see me anyway.
Oh, my goodness. You're hot, Alana.
Yeah, like Hot Donna
Yes,
from...
yes. Jaylo.
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No.
No, you're good?
Yes.
All right, babes.
Yes. We are going to take a break.
And then Alana's going to teach me about the good book.
I'm gonna give my very first Bible lesson. It's gonna be interesting.
But it will be recorded. Will you give it in a southern accent?
No. Can you imagine? I'm reading it and it's like, and there were shepherds abiding in the field.
Now we're going to read Corinthians.
1 Corinthians. No, we're going to read from the chapter of Luke. First chapter and then a little bit of the second chapter.
A little bit.
A little bit of the second chapter.
Yes. It'll be fun, babes.
I'm excited, but I'm also anxious because this is like the very first time I'm doing this.
And I will
ever.
be cracking some jokes and making some comments, but...
And I am going to crack you over the head with my book if you do that.
Well, babes, we already know that's how it was. But that's how I would roll anyway, babes.
You like your wool.
Okay. Well, you used to give me a kiss for being honest with you, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, give me a kiss.
That's just an excuse.
Okay. Mm. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Oh.
Okay, yeah, that's enough.
All right, babes. I love you.
I love you too, and I hope everyone has a good Saturday.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
We'll get back later.
Bye-bye from the birthday boy. All right. No, all seriousness. Bye.